Right. So I've been getting a lot of messages today in relation to how it's to live here, especially from people from the UK. How is it living here, and how does it compare to the UK? So I thought, I'll do a quick video. It's just easier for me because then I can just send this video to whoever is going to ask the same question going forward. So, look, generally the life is a lot better here. First things first, the weather is amazing, right? From a Muslim perspective, Islamic perspective, it's a Muslim country, right? So, you have prayer rooms everywhere. In the UK, you got to plan your day and your weekend around your salah. Here you don't. You can go anywhere, wherever, and you pray. You go to a restaurant, you have a prayer room. You go to a service station, you have a prayer room, a place to make ablution, make wudu, right? So it's fantastic, right? So you just get to live your life without worrying about your obligations. Everything is halal, the food is halal. Obviously you have a few places that are like Chinese owned, that are not halal, but they far and few in between, right? From a perspective of obviously the weather is amazing, right? You have all the amazing malls over here as well. It's amazing. You come here and you realize what sort of rubbish we're fed, that the UK is a first world country. I'm sorry. When you come to these countries, you actually realize that you've just been lied to your whole life, right? Everything is just rigged to make believe that we are in a first world country in the UK, in Europe, and America, right? With the healthcare and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? It's absolutely BS, absolutely rubbish. Over here, you realize, what it really is, a first world country. This is a first world country, right? You just see the mall. The malls are amazing. You see the healthcare. Yeah, sure, they have a private healthcare here, and they have, your national like the NHS. Your government hospitals, right? You pay for insurance here if you want to go for the medical health care in a private facility, and it's not that much. It's not stupid prices here. To give you an example, over here they've got it right. When you drive a car, you insure the car. You don't insure the bloody person. The only condition is that person should have a valid license. So you insure the car, and anybody can drive it. As long as they have a license, anybody can drive it. Does then that make sense? My fully comp insurance on a 4x4 here, right? A brand new car on my first year was approximately £600, right, for the whole year, for the car, not for the individual, not for the each driver, right? £600 fully comp, and that comes with all the optional extras: legal cover, flood cover, disaster cover, windscreen, batteries, roadside recovery. What else? I think I said it. Key cover if you lose your key, windscreen cover, front and back. It's bloody fantastic. £600, right? And then I did a renewal the following year, and it was just a little bit less. Probably about £520. Because obviously I had the 1 year's no claims then, but at the same time you have I had extra cover put on, some other cover, whatever it was. Anyways, I just ticked away to see how much it's going to cost, and I was like, yeah, what the hell, man, let's do it, why not, right? Parking here in malls is very cheap. You're looking at like 3-4 ringgits, like 50 to 80p, to a maximum of probably a pound 50 an hour, right? You go to central London, you're paying for a ridiculous amount of parking over there in malls, ridiculous amount of parking on the street. It's nothing like that here. It's absolutely bloody fantastic, honestly, right? It just makes you wonder, like, why the hell we've been struggling all our life, for what? For what? It's just nuts. It is. The maximum tax over here is 26% or 27%, right? That's for the top earners. 27%, like, bloody fantastic, right? You drive around here, the roads are amazing, the flyovers are amazing. Yes, the main highways have tolls, but what is the toll? Each toll is probably anywhere between, I don't know, if I remember right, 1.5 ringgit or 3.5 ringgit. I'm sorry, if I'm going on a 4-hour drive to another part of the country, right, you're obviously paying for a hotel, and the hotel, depending on what you choose, can be anything between £30 to, obviously £400-500, right? So naturally, if we just say the midway, you're paying £50 a night, um, and you can afford that, and obviously you're going to be eating out, you're going to be going to restaurants, buying your kids toys and all that kind of stuff. You're not going to complain about paying £5 on a toll on the way there. For multiple tolls in total, five, six, £5 to £6 or £7 at the most. I've driven all the way from here to Penang, which is approximately 4 hours away, or to Johor down south, to Legoland towards Singapore, and the maximum toll for the entire journey I've paid is probably, I don't know, a fiver. Fiver, what is that? Approximately 25 to 30 ringgits, right? I mean, to put that into comparison, you go to get a coffee, for example, I mean, obviously I don't go to Starbucks because of the boycott, but if you were to go to Starbucks, one coffee will cost you 20 ringgits, 18 ringgits, 13 ringgits, depending what you choose. So, for price of a coffee, you get to drive on a road that has no potholes, that is amazing, right? 4 lanes, 3 lanes, solid lanes, right? None of this malarkey of, smart motorway where, if you break down, you're obviously going to die, right? Why? Because someone's going to come bloody ram into your lorry. We hear it all the time on the news. It's absolutely nuts. Every time I've seen a car broken down, right? What do you see? You see probably within 15 minutes you see a copper car there and a tow truck, right? That doesn't happen in the UK. How many stories do we hear of people who are working for RAC, for roadside recovery, AA, their cars have been taken out by an oncoming car or a truck or a lorry or something. It's just unfortunate, right? One of the other questions I was asked was, what about schooling here? Schooling obviously here is private, right? Because as a British national or any other nationality, you can't go to a local school. And if you can go to a local school, it doesn't make sense, because we don't, well, forget us, our children definitely don't speak the local language, so how you expect them to learn, right? So you're going to choose a British standard school, or if you're from America, American standard school, or Canadian, or whatever it may be. As an expat, you realize that you don't know how long you're going to stay here, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so the last thing you want to do is jeopardize your children's education. So from that perspective, I send my kids to an international school here, which is on a British curriculum. So God forbid, but in the event I have to go back to the UK for whatever reasons it may be, at least my kids' education is continuous, it's not affected, right? I mean, to give you another example, you can rent a apartment here in the city. So I mean, I live bang outside the Patrono Towers in KLCC, right? And to rent a 3,200 square foot apartment, which is fairly big, 4 bedroom ensuite, 5 bedroom ensuites. So I've got like 7 bathrooms or 6 bathrooms, I can't remember now. 6 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, with a smaller bedroom which is for maid. But obviously we don't have a maid, so we use it for storage. So really, it's 5 bedrooms. That would cost you, depending on what building you're in and what facilities you have, approximately, I would say, 1,500 a month, £1,500 a month, right? It's, if you're in central London, an apartment like this is going to cost you probably £3,000 to £4,000. In the building we have obviously we've got security, multiple layers of security, so no any random Joey can walk in, right? So you have no problem sending your kids downstairs in the lift to the communal floor where they have badminton courts, they have some places have tennis courts as well, you have a games room, you have indoor outdoor play areas, you have a pool, you have a jacuzzi, you have a sauna, you have a changing room, you have a barbecue pit, right? Bloody, what more do you want? I mean, when we're living in the UK, we pay thousands of pounds to fly to other countries to get this, whereas here, this is your life, you're living your life. What more do you want? It's such a bloody decent life. Every single expat you see here, they've been here for decades. So so that was just some of the few things that I was asked about. So I thought I'll create a video. Anyhow, as the questions come in, and the regular ones, and the frequent ones, I'll potentially send another video out to make it easier for myself. Anyhow, it's midnight. I need to hit the bed. Okay, thank you guys.